The 1960s and the 1970s were really the most romantic periods for men's hairstyles, wouldn't you say? Alright, check this out. This photo shows an early morning train in Japan, way back in 1964. Alright, check out this cool old photo. It looks like a Halloween party right on the beach, way back in 1920. This is Felix Wöhler. Check out this amazing shot of New York's Woolworth Tower reaching up through the clouds. This photo was taken way back in 1928. Here's a double self-portrait by Rijlander taken in 1872. Here's the photo of Helen, a Native American telephone and switchboard operator in Montana. It was taken back in 1925. Here's a fun one. This photo shows two seals playing basketball at the San Diego Zoo way back around 1950. Here's a photo from London back in 1918. You can see a couple, both wearing masks during the Spanish flu pandemic. It's a stark reminder of a really tough time. This photo features Mrs. Laura Hawkins Fraser, who was 87 years old when this picture was taken in 1924. She's better known to fans of Mark Twain because she was the inspiration for Becky Thatcher, the character in his books. This is a picture of the bathing pool at the casino in St. Augustine, Florida. It was taken sometime between 1880 and 1897. Here's a shot from 1941 showing children having fun in London. Here's a striking portrait of Princess Alice, showcasing her poised beauty as a young woman back in the Victorian era. This photo was taken in England in 1862. Big crowd at a boxing match. Here's a portrait of Eddie, taken sometime between 1890 and the 1920s. It's from the C.M. Bell studio. Here's a cool old photo of a knife thrower and his assistant taken way back in 1900. Alright, check this out. We've got the Throttle Queens gearing up for a drag race. This photo was taken way back in 1956. Pretty cool, huh? Here's what we've got. A mother watches as her 7-month-old baby is baptized into the Ku Klux Klan. This was on Long Island, New York, back on the 4th of July 1927. Here's an interesting one. This picture shows an early version of Ronald McDonald posing with a crying baby. Alright, here's a photo of some good old-fashioned fun. Looks like party games from the 1940s. Alright, here we've got a picture of Frederick Winters. This was taken at the 1904 Olympics. Here's a shot from Daytona Beach, all the way back in 1903. This powerful photo shows women fighting for healthcare and abortion rights back in the 1960s. It's a stark reminder of the battles fought and the progress made throughout history. Here's a shot from way back in 1905 showing people strolling on the Brooklyn Bridge Promenade. You can see a New York City Police Department officer there too, keeping an eye on things. This photo is titled The Soldier's Return. The acting here is just incredible. Here's a shot of a drive-in liquor store in Los Angeles, California, back in 1949. Pretty cool, huh? Here's a photo from 1895. It shows two Armenian women, all ready for action. They're posing with their rifles just before heading into battle against the Ottomans. This photo shows Otto Wichterle in a chemical laboratory back in 1941. Here's a sweet photo from the 1910s. This little baby is learning to walk, holding onto a wicker frame. What a classic. Alright, here's the scene. We're on a farm in Hertfordshire, England, back around 1933. And get this, there's a huge pig having a little chat with a census taker. Can you imagine that? Alright, this photo captures a dancing competition. It could be a great way to spend an afternoon watching people show off their moves. This is Mignon, a penguin girl. Her real name was Ruth Davis. She was born in 1910. Her nickname, Mignon, actually translates from French and means sweet. This is a photo of the lunatic chair. It was given to patients who weren't behaving well or who had wild outbursts. You can see it here at a Dutch mental hospital back in 1938. Here's a great shot. It's of Phil Taylor, an English skater, doing an amazing leap over Frida Whitaker. This was a daring stunt on the ice at St. Moritz, and the photo was taken around 1930. Frida's just casually sitting on a chair and Phil's flying right over her. Here's a look at one of the very first head-mounted displays, or HMDs. This prototype was created way back in 1968 by Evan Sutherland and his team. Check out this amazing shot. It's from the Fun Fest in Washington, all the way back in 1923. You've got this strong man showing off his incredible strength. He's actually holding up the weight of a car. Pretty impressive, right? Alright, here we go. This photo shows a man demonstrating some pretty interesting gear from World War I. You can see a steel cap on his head, and he's also wearing splinter goggles. Basically, he sees through these tiny slits. Pretty intense. He's also got a steel dagger gauntlet on, all of which were manufactured for the British military during the First World War. Here's a lovely shot from the past. We see a couple ringing in the new year with party blowers and streamers. This picture was taken all the way back in 1930. Happy New Year! Alright, so here's this awesome photo. We've got a skeleton just hanging out at a pub table looking like he's waiting for a drink. It's a pretty funny scene. And the date on it? Well, that was the 26th of May, 1970. Okay, check this out. This is how they used to test condoms back in the 1930s. Here's a photo of Anne Frank and her sister Margot at the beach in Zandvoort. This one was taken in August of 1940. A neat old photo from the 1890s. It shows three women posing with their bicycles in Helsinki, Finland. Here's a photo of 10-year-old John F. Kennedy. This photo shows a young man in the 1880s who's unfortunately lost his nose. It was due to a severe case of syphilis. This is Katherine Johnson. She was an African-American mathematician, and her work was absolutely essential at NASA. Here's a sweet one. This photo shows a baby lamb snuggling up to a sleeping boy. The photo was taken on March 16, 1940. This photo is pretty famous. It's the Face on Mars, a geological formation captured in the 1970s. It's on Mars, and honestly, this picture launched a whole bunch of conspiracy theories. Here's how babies travelled on airplanes back in the 1960s. A fantastic old photo of Luna Park in Melbourne. It looks like this was taken in the early 1950s. This photo was taken by Nat Farbman way back in 1953. He's feeding cats. They're practicing gas attack drills in a maternity hospital. This happened in the year 1941 in case Germany decided to launch an attack. This fascinating photo shows Old Man Prohibition being hung in effigy above the streets of New York City. This happened right after Prohibition was repealed on December 5, 1933. It's a pretty clear sign of how people felt about the end of the ban on alcohol. A woman, a lumberjill hauling firewood in the beautiful rural British Columbia. This photo was taken way back in the 1870s or the 1890s. Alright, check this out. It's a butter protector from the 1950s. Pretty cool, huh? Here's a photo of Bill Clinton when he was just 6 years old back in 1952. Check out this beauty. It's a 1949 Nash Air flight. Pretty cool, right? And get this, it was the first car with a sleeper car option. Imagine taking a road trip back then in something like this. Here's a beautiful portrait of a mother and daughter. It was taken back in 1910. This lovely old photo shows a couple gracefully dancing on ice skates. They're gliding across Whitestone Pond in Hampstead, London. The photo was taken way back in 1933. Here's a story from 1978. 15-year-old Mary survived something absolutely horrific. She was assaulted and her attacker cut off her arms with an axe. Then they threw her down a 30-foot cliff and left her for dead. Here's a cool old photo. It's a cat, and this cat is dressed to impress. It's wearing a suit and a hat. This picture was taken way back in 1906. Here's a photo from 1941. It shows a mother and her baby, and they're both wearing gas masks. Here's a look at an electrically heated vest, developed way back in 1932. It was designed specifically for the traffic police in the United States. Pretty innovative for its time. The vest got its power from electric contacts actually built into the street. Imagine that. Here's a photo from 1928. It shows the Ku Klux Klan marching down Pennsylvania Avenue. Here's a nose shaping tool dating back to the year 1944. Here's a shot of Playboy models rocking some of the very first miniskirts. This was way back in the 1970s, you know. Alright, so this cool old photo shows swimsuits and roller skates. It was taken in Chicago, Illinois around 1947. The photographer was Wayne Miller. Here's a photo of a 15-year-old Teddy Roosevelt, and even then, he was already sporting some impressive chops. Here's a look at New Year's Eve in France back in 1940. This photograph is called the Charnel House. It shows facial reconstructive surgery being performed during World War I back in 1918. Here's what we're looking at. This photo was taken in February of 1942. It shows the Firestone rubber plant in Akron, Ohio. They were doing a conversion, changing over from making beverage containers to making aviation oxygen cylinders. Two women showing off their bare legs in public for the first time. This photo was taken in Toronto back in 1937. Here's Danny DeVito back in his high school days. This photo was taken at Oratory Preparatory School in Summit, New Jersey, back in 1961. Wow, look at this. A medic is feeding baby birds. How sweet is that? Seems like there's real care and attention going into helping these little ones out. It's amazing to see. This is Sergeant Stubby, a truly amazing dog. He's actually the most decorated dog of World War I. Here's a photo of American singer Al Johnson, playing a black man on the set of the movie Bar of Wonders. This was taken back in 1934. Here's a look at a Victorian-era bathing machine. Pretty interesting, right? Here's a photo from the 1950s. It looks like a fun shot. Here's a great shot. It looks like a bunch of kids blowing horns on Bleecker Street on New Year's Day, 1943. Here's a photo of Thomas Edison, a 30-year-old taken around 1878. Alright, so here we are, the last day of the football championship. This photo was taken in London back in 1936. Here's a great shot of Marlene Dietrich. It was taken in a New York studio back in 1952. The photographer was Milton H. Green. Alright, check this out. Here's a shot of Betty Fox back in 1945 taking a pretty daring leap. She's on the roof of the Ford Shelby Hotel jumping rope. No safety net, just her and the sky in Michigan. Talk about guts. Here's a photo from Chelyabinsk back in the Soviet Union in 1946. It's a sports parade. This photo shows us from the 1930s. Here's a photo from the 70s showing Dogon stilt dancers in Bandiagara, Mali. This is Margaret Bourke White, Life magazine's first hired and first female staff photographer. This photo was taken in 1943. Here's a shot of Calamity Jane. This photo was taken in the year 1901.